All right, in this explainer, we're going to break down a pretty radical shift happening for software developers. See, it's not just about prompting an AI anymore. It's really about building a true partnership. So let's get into how you actually do that.
You know, if you'd asked this question just a few months ago, the answer would have been a pretty confident no. But the insane pace of AI development has changed. Well, everything. The real question now isn't if things are changing, but how you're going to adapt and stay way ahead of the curve.
And that right there is the heart of the matter. Look, worrying that an LLM can code faster than you kind of misses the point. The real challenge, and honestly, the biggest opportunity, is in mastering how you communicate with these systems. The problem isn't what the AI can do, it's our ability to give it crystal clear instructions.
Okay, so how do we actually get better at talking to an AI? Let's start with a really simple analogy for why the way we're doing it now often just falls flat.
Think about it like this. If you're in Mumbai, you'd probably speak Hindi or English to be understood by the most people, right? You wouldn't use a niche regional dialect. Well, it's the exact same idea with AI. You can't just throw some vague requests at it and expect magic. You have to give it a prompt that is just full of context and structured in a language it can really chew on to get the functional code you actually need.
Now, what's really cool is that we can actually move past all the guesswork. There's a systematic framework you can use to structure these prompts and get way better results, consistently. Our source calls it the CSS strategy: context, steps, and structure. So first, you give it the full context. Hey, I'm building a paid app. It's going to have premium features and it needs invoice management. Then you break it down into steps. Okay, first, set up the project structure. Second, create the user authentication module. And finally, you organize the whole prompt with a clear structure, so the AI can process it logically. This right here is the bedrock of a successful collaboration.
But that CSS framework, that's really just the foundation. On top of that, you need to layer in a whole set of principles that take your interaction from just giving a command to having a real, productive partnership. Think of these as your new rules of engagement. You have to be iterative, building up your requests one step at a time. You've got to provide data using concrete examples, and this one's huge. Demand permission. Make the AI tell you its plan before it does anything. This is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. You have to continuously evaluate the output and observe the entire process, reading every single line of code it spits out.
So this brings us to the most crucial point. Your human value isn't just in writing code anymore. It's in the skills the AI totally lacks. That ability to critically observe what's happening, make smart strategic decisions, and steer the entire project. That is where you become irreplaceable.
So what does all this add up to? Well, it points to this fundamental shift in what it even means to be a developer. Your job title might stay the same, but the role itself, it's being elevated in a pretty profound way.
And let's be really clear here. We are not talking about replacement. We are talking about transformation. All the mundane, repetitive bits of coding are getting automated, which frees you up to do the higher level, more interesting work.
So your focus totally shifts. It's no longer about the how, the nitty-gritty of writing every single line of code. Now it's all about the what and the why. You become the architect who designs the blueprint, who plans the entire system, and who deeply understands the business goals. The AI, it becomes your builder, executing your plan.
But, and this is a huge but, this new partnership comes with a major catch. You have to operate in what our source calls a low-trust environment. Yeah, the AI is incredibly capable, but it has zero real understanding or accountability. You just can't delegate a task and trust it's going to get it right.
And this is where we get to a brilliant reframing of a new, absolutely essential skill you need to develop. You have to become a micromanager for the AI.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Micromanager has always been a bad word, right? But you have to forget all of that. In this new world, micromanagement isn't about a lack of trust in your human colleagues. It is a necessary, strategic discipline for guiding a powerful but not conscious tool to produce high-quality, reliable work.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear. The future isn't about being replaced by AI, it's about stepping up to lead it. And the question you really need to ask yourself is this: are you just going to be a user of AI, or are you going to become its manager? That choice is going to define the future of everything you build.